Hey guys, welcome back to PhysioFix. We are back with another podcast. I know it was a long gap because of festivities and festival and stuff that we had to handle, but now we are back. So last time, as I remember, we had asked you guys about a topic that you want us to talk about. So the best topic among all the options that we got was about fancy treatments. We just love talking about this.
Hi guys, welcome back after a long break. So we love this topic. We have genuinely actually been dying to talk about this topic, and we were so happy when someone suggested it. And not just that, a lot of people kept saying that can you all talk about these alternative treatments that are being used along with physiotherapy. But the way it was framed, fancy treatments, we were like, we have to do this. So we're very excited to do this episode.
So today we are going to talk about tapes and
cups
and needles.
No, we are kidding. We'll be talking about some other therapies which are used as an adjunct to physiotherapy, like dry needling, cupping, and
Yeah, dry needling, cupping. One more very fancy treatment that is in trend right now is ISTM, also known as instrument assisted soft tissue mobilization. I don't know what instruments people are using. Sometimes I use a scale. So we'll focus on all these fancy treatments that are so-called fancy and always trending among students, where students actually forget to study the basics and fundamentals, but they want to do taping, sicko. Okay, so we'll convey this. The one disclaimer before we even start explaining things and evidence behind all this is our aim is to convey that this is just a part of therapy, not a whole soul treatment. Our aim is not to degrade or defame any type of technique or therapy. Okay.
yeah, we do believe that each one of this therapy in its own way is useful in a certain time for certain patients and for certain things only. You cannot treat the patient using that completely, but that can help you achieve your goal or reach faster, or reduce something, like increase with the pain of range of motion, or reduce the pain, something of that sort. But that's definitely not entirely your therapy. Your therapy should not just be any one of them.
Yeah, exactly. So maybe we'll go one by one. We'll talk about what people believe about this a particular technique, how students are made to believe about it, how they use it in clinics, and how effective it is. Then maybe we'll go a little into the evidence of each technique.
So we'll put up a picture of each therapy along with a generalized definition or understanding of it, and every time that whatever we are speaking is right from our own experience, observation, which is supported by evidence, whatever has been done up till now. We are not just saying anything, even though it is to an extent our opinion and our observation, we are supporting it with evidence. So we will add those also in the video.
Yeah, you can find, maybe we'll link research papers in the descriptions below if you guys want to go through and study. Maybe if you have questions and you don't understand, you can come back to us.
I think right now it's very important to address this issue because it's the same confusion which we must have gone through when we were just stepping out of physiotherapy, or when we were thinking that okay, we know what we are doing, and then suddenly this new thing comes and you're like, acha, now I need to know this also. Is this really physiotherapy? Then why are they not teaching us in college? Why do we have to go out of the way to learn any of this? Or if it is such a important therapy, why is not so it's uniformly distributed throughout physiotherapy? Why only few people going through it? So it's very evident right now, especially if there are so many therapies for people to get confused with. Like during my time, or a few years ago, we were not as confused. Like I remember by the time you're in third year or fourth year, you're kind of more confident while treating a patient, and you know what you're doing, and you think, acha, now I know, I am getting a hang of it. And then suddenly some new therapy comes into picture and everyone is doing those workshops or learning those therapies, and then you're like, but we are doing this, that doesn't work, or what? It's doing the same thing, no? It's just some other therapy using some other treatment. So that is really confusing at that time, because when I was in my fourth year and I thought, okay, fine, we have a good hang of everything, and not just me, most of my batchmates also. Suddenly we saw people in our college who are senior to us going through a lot of workshops and learning, like when we were in our fourth year and everything, and when we thought, okay, fine, we have actually learned what we are doing and we are going to go in internship now, we can use our assessment skills and our treatment skills. And suddenly then this new treatment has come, which is ISTM, and everyone is learning that and they are using that now. Pehle everyone is doing stretching and teaching the patient self stretches, and suddenly now everyone, for every patient, is doing that. And now they're like, but doesn't that work? Are we not supposed to use that? Is that something that's outdated? And then after a while we saw that fizzle out immediately. Like there was a point where it was at a height, everyone was using it, and then suddenly it reduced, and not everyone used it, not on all the patients and stuff like that. So I think that's what the students are also going through right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think the major problem is the flaws with the system, where students are made to I mean students of second year or third year, not even interns, who are going to pass out, who have a degree or a they're authorized to treat now. Students who are still learning, second year and third year students, are made to believe that this is something great that we are going to teach you extra out of the curriculum, and this is magic, some magic kind of thing that just heals patients. Then taping came. When I was in second or third year, taping was everywhere, trending. What is taping सीखना है यार, taping के workshop को जाना है sir, taping का workshop कब हो? Everyone is. As I came to internship, taping also went down. Now it is dry needling. Needling सीखना है, वो just लगाती दर्द चला जाता है, एक shot तो needle का दर्द खत्म. Then needling went.
Cupping also.
Needling also went. Everyone knew needling. After 2-3 more years, now people wanted to make more business. They brought in instruments. You use a scale, you use a rod, you use a blade. I don't know what all people are using. They're selling some suitcase of 15 instruments. Then they bought in that also. Everyone got bored. Now they're bringing in cups, glasses. I don't know what all they're fixing on the body to treat the patients. So this is just a trend.
Another disclaimer, we do not mean any disrespect to any of these therapies. We are just giving a generalized view, which we have also experienced. It's not just the students who are going through. We have also experienced this while working or in the society generally.
Yeah, we are telling all this for the benefits of the students, because we are focused more on the students. We don't want you to just waste money over things that are not worth it. So please watch this video until the end, and maybe we'll make another separate video on workshops.
And I think it's like this ongoing confusion about physiotherapy, and like this sort of identity crisis of it is continuously going. Like years ago, like 7-8 years ago, it was just massage, and then we were fed up of telling people that it's not massage, we don't do massage. We fought for that, and maybe now the misunderstanding has reduced to some extent. Then for a little while I thought it was more of, when we were especially in college, it was more of like all the patients believed that अरे वो machine लगा दो, light लगा दो, ठीक हो जाएगा, exercise and all. They would not, like every day, initially if you use the therapy, the next day they are coming expecting just that. They don't want to do any exercise, they don't want to get better, they just want वो उतना उसका काम, that's all. And then now it is this another, and then for a short while it was also manipulations and thrusts and everything, where it was going viral on TikTok, where everybody I knew is like, oh, you're physiotherapist, you crack bones or not? And you're like, no, actually we don't keep doing that the whole day. And then now it's like so much more. Now everyone will confuse with, acha, you're a physiotherapist, you're doing cupping, you're doing needling, you're doing this, and it's like, no, it's not necessary. And it's like, acha, y'all don't do that. And so there's this intense confusion, and I think it's just increasing through the years.
True, yeah. When, for example, when I treat patients, I mostly focus on making them self-reliant. Maybe
True.
If I have a 1 hour session, I spend 30-40 minutes just explaining to them and making them understand you have to do the work. I'm just here to guide you. And they're still blank.
Yeah.
It takes them 2-3 sessions to understand that this guy is not going to do anything, not going to apply any machine. He's just going to sit there, help us to do better exercises, and only guide us with exercises, or maybe use his hands at the max. When I tell them at the maximum, I'm going to use my hands and just explain you how to do an exercise. I explain to them how the muscles work and how the body takes it up. Going into physiology, it takes them 2-3 sessions just to understand that.
Yeah.
It is just becoming a trend.
True.
Even the patient population is saturated. They expect when a therapist comes, they just have to lie on the bed and he applies some tapes he pokes some needles here and there, he massages here and there, and then हाँ हो गया, जादू खत्म, दर्द खत्म, 4 सेशन और करो, पैसे कमाओ, भाग जाओ. It is not like that.
Yeah,
Physiotherapy
true.
is not
That's
like
what,
that.
yeah. True. Yeah, other than even just an increased pressure of, like, we're already studying so much in physiotherapy, not just medically, but just the physiotherapy treatments and everything that we study. Other than that, we are expected to study more things. So not just increased stress and burden on the students, but there's so much of more confusion among the patients and misinformation among patients also. Where if they go to a certain therapist who advocates something like cupping or dry needling as the best therapy and as like saying that this is physiotherapy, if they go somewhere else or if they spread information about it, imagine the amount of misinformation that is in the society, where they will at one point end up believing that that's all that physiotherapists do, when in reality not every physiotherapist, definitely even if a few are using it, not everyone is going to be using that therapy for helping their treatment or like an adjunct to their treatment.
And I think this is also causing a major drawback for the students themselves.
Therapy.
Because sometimes when I am with juniors or with students, teaching them or training them, and I tell them you don't need to do much, you only need to guide, you let the patient handle themselves, tell them how to handle, make them self-reliant. Then even the students are confused. They're like, what? We can tape, no, we can needle, no, we can do this, no, we can stretch. I'm like, you don't need to do that. But when there are evidences over evidences proving that just walking is among the best exercises that can relieve pain, nobody believes it. They don't believe it.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, because everyone is into that fancy mindset that something has to be done for something to be corrected.
Yeah, it's that. Yeah, it's even that that sense of dramaticness or that theatrics that it gives, no, to a huge extent कि अरे बहुत पेन हुआ, नीडलिंग किया, अभी ठीक हो जाएगा, वो मशीन लगाया था, ठीक हो जाएगा. So that is also one of, I think that's also a contributing factor. I think even a patient is, if you give them two options where they are getting something done to them or whereas they are asked to do exercises, they'll be like, nahi, wo lagaya tha, machine kiya tha, to it will have been better. But that's not their fault. It's our job and our responsibility to tell them the difference between them and teach them the right and guide them in the right way.
True.
And just as you said, when you do therapy, you're not relying on those things. There's nothing wrong with them. They are all therapies to kind of help you achieve your main goal. So I wonder in this pandemic, how much has it changed? Because we definitely know that there are a few group of therapists who are just relying on that. Like who their major treatment protocol is just doing some kind of passive therapy, like, cupping or needling or something of that sort. And now when this was closed in the pandemic and they had to treat any patients, I wonder how they did. If they did it over a call or a video call, was their work restricted because they are so dependent on something external like that? Because even though all of these are skills, we cannot deny that you need certain knowledge and experience to do that. So definitely it deserves that amount of credibility and respect, that it is a skill in itself, but also being able to assess the patient properly and just being able to treat them with functional activities or exercise or stretches without using any extra forces is also a skill. And I think that should put you above everything else when you don't have to depend on so many things. So I wonder what that difference has. Have people noticed that difference or therapists notice that difference? Because I have been seeing a few patients online in this time, and I have not, obviously I can't be like needling yahan se wahan, at least till now there's no technology like that. So we've always we've done exercises, I've monitored the exercises or stretches or activities, and with that we've seen great results. So it goes to prove that most of the treatment can be exercise or therapy based, where they can see good results. You don't need to rely on just those things all the time.
True, exactly. So coming to the techniques now, again, we are not telling these don't work at all. What we are trying to convey is this is just another part or another technique like many other techniques that we have been taught to treat a patient. First point. Second point, you cannot hold this as a single ultimate treatment like many of them portray, is what we are against. It is not a single ultimate. No treatment is a single ultimate treatment. There are hundreds of things that you have to do together to make it work and make the patient more functional. Okay, and
true.
all these techniques have said to work in some conditions and not work in some conditions. There is no 100% either side. Okay, what we are against is the fanciness of it. It is just another ordinary technique that should be taught in colleges. Maybe is taught in most of the colleges. Most of the colleges that we have seen have not taught this. I don't know why they tie up with people. Okay, we'll do another video on workshops and how that goes. Okay, so maybe we'll start with taping first. Okay, so
Yeah.
taping has many parts and many types in it. There is rigid and there is K taping, and there are 2-3 more
Kinesio.
taping in sports where it has come. Okay, all
Yeah.
have a different aim and objective and criteria to do, but the most fanciest one is kinesio taping. So learn from therapists who actually treat patients. The rest is history. Okay, so I want to show you what a real kinesio tape looks like. This is a kinesio tape that I also have and I also use, but as just a technique wherever it may help me with patients. And we are not going to go into details of how to tape and what methods are there. We are just talking about what is the idea behind this, how is it portrayed, and is it evidence based or not. Okay, so many people that tape, many ideas behind K taping is that it restricts or inhibits movement or helps movement, increases lymphatics, and God knows regenerates neurons, okay, makes up joints, strengthens your bones. I don't know, there are many ideas behind K taping, but the only thing that is evidence based is that it helps in blood circulation. Why? Because it is just a tape which is elastic, when applied to your skin can pull the skin up, and because there is that little space created, there is increased amount of blood flow. The only condition where this is known to have worked is bruises, because you apply it over a bruise, lifts up the skin, more blood flow, in a few days the bruise gets settled down. That is only one evidence based technique. Now many people, I myself use K taping where maybe a patient needs to be immobilized or something, or needs a little restriction in movement. I apply it there, but that also depends on different principles. We never go like, "ये भाई tape चिपका लो, हो गया, आप treatment done."
Yeah, because I think there's so much of conditioning among patients also. Where I worked, there was this one patient who would just come and be like, okay, my shoulder's paining, just tape it. I feel like, no, wait, we'll assess you, we'll see, that's not necessary. And it's like, you just tape, yaar, I feel better, you tape. So that is something that we need to avoid. If we keep propagating this therapy, that therapy, eventually I think patient will just do that workshop and start doing it themselves.
Yeah.
They won't feel the need to come to us also.
Yeah, exactly. I think this this mindset, this placebo mindset that is being created, where you just apply. And I think why the student population is also, you ask a student one thing, what workshop do you want to do in life? They'll be like, I want to do taping. Why? Do you know why? Because taping is the only technique that you can see. You cannot see any other technique. You manipulate, you massage, you stretch, you do hundreds of things. You cannot see it on a patient. Taping everyone sees. And for the patients also it is fancy. For students also it is fancy. Okay, this is not a whole and soul treatment. I don't know, there are no evidences whatsoever proving that taping lives up to whatever expectations or things that people have portrayed it as. So if you are taping a patient, there are principles and there are rules and there are criteria of how you can actually do it for some benefit along with all the other things that you are doing. You cannot just most of the things that I've seen taping go along with is knee pain or tennis elbow or decurvance most of the times. But there are tapes here and there. It looks fancy, but it does not treat everything. You need to know how to apply it, where to apply it, and when to apply it. Please don't waste time and efforts and money over stuff that may not actually work. You're not helping yourself. Be a better therapist, please.
And it turns into this vicious cycle
Yes.
where the student thinks that since I have put in so much money in learning and buying this instrument or whatever, now I need to get it back. So then they start enforcing it on the patient, and the poor patient obviously doesn't know, so they'll be like, Acha, I have to do this.
Yeah.
Matlab, they will charge extra for that also. And then you're exploiting the patient, you have also been exploited. So it's turning into, which is going to just, at the end of the day, just bite us only.
Yeah, this is not how it works. The flaw in the system where they teach this to second and third year students is very wrong. I think this has to be changed. I don't know, it is going on for years. Maybe in the next generation, hopefully it will change. Hopefully. Okay, there's nothing fancy. And if at all, one more disclaimer, if at all you want to learn all these extra techniques, finish your degree first. Do all this in internship or after internship when you have time, because even before you know all the muscles of the body or how the nervous system works, you are learning taping. How will you even apply it on patients? Yeah, and most of the colleges I know, I think, are not, the students of second or third year are not allowed to treat patients independently.
Allowed,
So
yeah,
what is
yeah.
the use of doing a workshop where you can not even apply?
Not practice also.